Hi, everyone. My name is Sergio Cruz. I'm the Director of Business Development. I come from a background of software development and sales. And today we're talking to Jeff Fulkerson, Director of Technical Services at the Do Network. Jeff, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, you're not the first person to mispronounce my last name, so you're not alone. But my background is in computer science, building computers, programming computers, and of course now I've been doing networking with that for a number of years. And so I know all the technical aspects of it, and I like bridging between the technical side and the sales side.
Yeah, thanks. I know you've been doing it for a while now, and it's been great. So if you've landed on this page, chances are you've heard about our Feather VPN product, which we like talking about because it really highlights our technology and how it works. So I'm going to show you just a quick video.
Okay, here we are at the sushi restaurant, and we are going to, thank you very much, check our connection to the internet using just a cellular connection, and we're getting 2.5 megabits per second. Now we're going to go over to my app, or my company's app, called Feather VPN. Now we are connected, and we are behind the VPN firewall, and we're going to go back to fast.com and see the improvement of speed that we're getting here. Oh my gosh, this is even better than before. And there you have it, orders of magnitude in speed improvements. And we do this by getting rid of network jitter, and of course whatever network we're connecting to has a lot of jitter that we were able to eliminate, and this is the speed improvements that we have. So,
and this is an app that you can add to your phone.
This is our VPN for Android only. We're coming out with the iPhone version soon.
All right, great.
Very good.
So that was recorded at the beginning of the month at a sushi restaurant. I was just having dinner and decided to test it out and was amazed at the speed improvements. So I decided to run it again and record to see if I could actually get that kind of speed improvement again. And the reason why it works so well, and I'm going to talk about here, is the cellular connections are a good example of all network connections that with multiple devices, the more and more bandwidth gets used up and you get a lot of congestion, and overall the connection that you're connecting with to the cell tower degrades. Other factors, old equipment, bad antennas, things that affect the radio frequencies and your connection are going to be factors as well. The other things that happen are data hungry applications that are common to anybody who's connecting to the internet. That's also going to degrade the signal and cause network jitter. Feather VPN mitigates the effect of network jitter, and we commonly get 10x plus. Now, Jeff, I said some things in the video that was incorrect. Can you expound on that?
Sure, yeah, you mentioned that we get rid of network jitter. But as you have on this slide here, we're actually just mitigating the effects of that jitter. The jitter is still there. Those other elements in the network are still present, causing those variations in the packet timings. But what we're doing is identifying those variations as jitter or congestion and distinguishing it from actual loss. So when we identify just, okay, simple congestion or jitter, we can adjust our sending of data to be optimized for that current network environment. Whereas if we see actual loss, of course, we're going to pull back and adjust in that case to avoid further loss. So we're very good at identifying that in real time.
That's great. So this is a representation of another connection that I had that I think is going to be more typical. And it really, I think it has to do with whatever cell tower you're connecting, or whatever your connection is in general, is that I think probably that cell tower, whatever that connection was in excess, is probably around 300 megabits per second. So that we can't exceed that. When I say speed up the network, it's not that we're speeding up the network. The network is what it is, but we're mitigating the effects of jitter so that you have a better connection.
Right, and getting the most out of the
Exactly.
current available.
Getting the most out of your connection. Okay. So like all of our products, we use single point deployment. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Traditionally, a lot of network optimization solutions were dual-ended in terms of their deployment. So you had to put a box at the client side, or an application on the client machine, and then also a box on the server side. And then these two boxes would talk to each other with some proprietary setup in order to speed things along. However, our battery servers, our Warp Engine technology is a single point of deployment, and we act as a transparent proxy. So any traffic coming to us, we then take over and optimize the sending of that data in both directions. So it's a much easier deployment. It's less intrusive to whatever working environment you have, and you don't have to bother end users or clients to change the way they're doing work right now in order to get the benefit of our Warp Engine technology.
Right. And the second slide here shows that we use our own technology to connect to the internet. So not only are our servers speedy for getting the data back to the cell phone, we actually speed up our connection to the internet so we can pass that speed improvement or speed mitigation, jitter mitigation back down to the user. And this is a VPN product, and we have encryption and security. So why do people use VPNs?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons why people use VPNs. Most commonly, it's for privacy. They don't want someone else being able to check on their browsing patterns or maybe sensitive financial information. They don't want anybody to be able to pick up on that. So by using a VPN, your connection is encrypted. It's much more private and secure. People can't necessarily see where it's coming from depending on the type of VPN you've got set up. So it's mainly about getting more privacy and security. So we see on there the Cha-Cha-20 encryption. We use that because it's a very strong and efficient method of encryption that's not as vulnerable to certain types of attacks as other methods of encryption. We use the latest standards to make sure your data is secure in our Feather VPN app. And this ties back into our Warp Engine technology. By using Feather VPN, you're getting the benefit not only of a VPN, but also of our network optimization. That's why it's so much faster using our VPN app versus so many other VPN apps out there that actually slow you down, because all they're doing is adding the overhead of the VPN without actually speeding up the network. We're doing both, and that's why you see the jump in improvement that we saw in that video.
Right. And I know of other VPN vendors, and they talk about, yeah, we have fast servers, which everybody who is going to offer you a VPN solution is going to have, but they can't help us with the connection. Only ours can. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that we have is link roaming, which lets you switch between networks back and forth very quickly. And how does that work?
It makes the process pretty seamless when you're using your phone. Maybe when you're driving and your phone's switching between towers, you're not going to have to re-establish your VPN connection. It's going to maintain that, and you can continue your download wherever you're going.
That's really cool. Again, I don't know if any other VPNs that do that. So I'm really excited about that technology. So this is the rest of our product line. All of our products use Warp Engine. And going from left to right, can you tell us about these products?
Sure. Now, these are separate from the VPN application. These are more of our core technology. So Warp Gateway and Warp Gateway B, these are hardware footprints that you can install this in your place of business, maybe a retail store, coffee shop, and this will improve the connection for anybody on your local Wi-Fi network. So if you've got customers sitting in your coffee shop on the Wi-Fi, you put in a Warp Gateway, they're going to have a much better experience using the internet, and hopefully they'll stick around longer and buy more coffee. That's just a little desktop box right there. Warp Gateway B is a half-depth 1U rack mount server, so it's got a bypass NIC inside. So that means if someone were to pull the power cord from that server, traffic could still flow through it. It becomes a wire, and it is not a point of failure in that sense. Obviously, the optimization would stop if you take away the power to the box, but the traffic would keep flowing. Then at the enterprise level, we beef up the hardware and the capabilities. The Warp Engine box can support up to 1 gigabit per second of traffic. Warp Engine X is up to 10 gigs. And Warp CE is a customizable solution for carriers. CE is carrier edition. So if we're in the core network of a large cell carrier, this could be a 200 gig deployment, 400 gig. We'll build it specifically with however many blades that we need. It has all the same features of power bypass and failover and managing all of those connections at that carrier level with carrier grade hardware. The next one for carriers, that box is specifically for being installed at a cell tower. And the reason this box is separate is because it's much more ruggedized. It's designed for more extreme environments. So it can operate in very hot environments and very cold environments. Oftentimes, cell towers can be in remote locations that are not easily accessible. They might not have great air conditioning in the cabinet if they even have any air cooling. So we need those boxes to be very reliable and really tough. So that's what those are for. And then, of course, we have our Warp VM instances in the cloud. You can run on Amazon Web Services, just in KVM, whatever you've got. We can put in a virtual instance to provide the same network optimization that we would in these physical hardware boxes.
Yeah. I especially like the Warp Gateway B because I know we could have really used it when I was going to conferences and showing up at hotels, and I'd be one of the first to log into the conference and check the connection to the network, and it'd be great. I said, oh, this is going to be a great conference. And then 1,000 other people would join the conference and hit the network, and then it'd be rock slow. And it's like, what happened? So
they brought the jitter. That's what
they brought the jitter. That's right. So thanks so much for joining us today, everyone. And thank you, Jeff, for helping us explain all this technology. If you have any questions, you can contact me direct and/or call. I recommend that you come to our resources page. We have lots of information. We have a great white paper on the Warp Engine if you really want to get technical and find out more about it. So that's it for today. Jeff, thanks so much. And thank you all for joining us. Take care.